fishing isn't the only way to enjoy a frozen lake. We went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to learn about another.
As a competitive speed skater, Brian Hansen has spent most of his life on the sharpened edges of blades.
I've competed in 3 Olympics. I've been on many World Cup teams, and I've traveled all over the world for long track speed skating competitively.
A few years ago, he stopped competing, but he didn't hang up his skates. He traded the confines of an indoor oval track for the freedom of a new outdoor sport called Wild Ice Speed Skating.
Wild ice speed skating is done out on natural surfaces like lakes and rivers and ponds. And to some, it's also known as Nordic skating, but that's something that I've been really excited about recently. I mean, it's just awesome to just go straight for a while and really just explore. I think that's a lot what wild ice skating is about, is just exploring. Just as it is about, getting a workout in and being outside and just like the actual activity of skating itself. But just going, wherever we want and skating around, that's been really fun.
Brian grew up in Illinois and now lives in Milwaukee. Back in 2010, when he was training for the Olympics, he was practicing more than 25 hours a week. He says wild ice skating lets him enjoy the sport he loves without all the pressure of competition.
Like, a lot of growing up and being in the competitive world of speed skating has been about, lap times and the performance of it. And then here it's something you can just go and do. You don't have to, have the best day of your life. It's already just a great day because you're out there doing it.
Wild ice skating has gained a following in the Northeast and out west, but it's still relatively new in the Great Lakes region where skaters need to find protected areas for good ice.
It's just so hard because Lake Michigan gets so wavy and the ice is always getting broken up. So, it's really got to be the right spot. But then I realized there's several spots that might work. 1 being harbors, or 2 being bays, really sheltered bays, or 3 actually being a really flat day where it's been flat for a while and in a strong freeze. That could also work.
Brian leads an informal group on social media that shares information on conditions in the Milwaukee area. Brian says the group is always concerned about safety and the thickness of the ice.
4 inches is considered safe. We do go out sometimes on thinner ice. If we do that, we have a lot of backup plans and precautions that we take. If I'm unsure of the ice conditions, I'll wear a wetsuit. We bring a surfboard. I have throw rope, so a rope we can throw to someone that the other person can help kind of bring them out of the ice. And then we use ice alls, or also known as ice picks, that the things that you carry with you while you're skating so that you can pull yourself out of the ice. Otherwise, what happens is you're kind of grabbing at the ice and it's really slippery and it's hard to get out.
Safety measures are especially important in challenging conditions. A few years ago, Brian and a friend used paddleboards to reach a group of floating ice islands in Lake Michigan and do some really wild ice skating.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because no one knows that these ice chunks are out there, but I think what happened is these really flat surfaces were frozen further north and then it broke off, and then you end up with these gigantic ice islands out there in Lake Michigan.
Brian still skates on an indoor track, but now he's sharing his experience with the next generation of competitive speed skaters. He coaches for the Northbrook Speed Skating Club at the Pettit National Ice Center, the rink in Milwaukee where he trained as a kid.
Coaching is really rewarding because I really want to be a proponent of the sport and get these kids involved and, move them in the right direction.
Brian says the coaching, the competition, and the wild ice skating are all part of the sport he loves. But he admits he's discovered a whole new appreciation for frigid temperatures.
I used to be kind of unexcited when it was suddenly 5 degrees outside, but now I get super excited because all these spots are suddenly freezing over, and I'm heading up all my friends and I'm all right, we got to go here. And there's just not enough time in the week to get it all in,
Oh yeah, dude, this is cool.
Some of my mission and what I hope to do with this sport is kind of bring awareness that you can have fun outside and skating in the in the coldest parts of the winter, and there's also a safe way to do it. So I think it's important that people realize, one, like you do have to take precautions. Like it can be dangerous, but it can also be really fun and an exciting way to enjoy winter.
At Great Lakes Now, we aim to cover the Great Lakes region and the people who live here, like you. Please follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our newsletter at greatlakesnow.org.